Good evening, sim racing fans across the globe, and welcome to another round of the Real Sim Racing Outlaw Truck Series presented by Hippie's Paint Shop here on LSRTV, the voice of sim racing. Welcome inside the Inside Sim Racing Broadcast Tower. I'm Jacob Seelman. I will be along for the ride for the entirety of tonight's 75-lap event around the 2.66-mile behemoth that is Talladega Superspeedway. Got a lot of things on tap tonight. A whole lot of action to get to here over the next couple of minutes. Qualifying on tap as they run, and going to be just about 6 more minutes remaining on the clock as drivers out in for group qualifying, trying to make their mark and see who's going to sit on the Gary Mercer Trucking pole position here tonight. CJ Lavere in truck number 4 right now holds the provisional pole with a time of 49.260. Dwayne Vincent about 3/100ths of a second behind, and a mix of veterans and rookies so far in tonight's top 5. 2 rookies in the 90 of Ross Cato, the 1 of Alex Bergeron up inside the top 5, with 3 Full Throttle Cup Series veterans in Lavere, Vincent, and Matt Lacrosse, who clocks in 4th right now. As we said, about just over 5 minutes to go in open qualifying right now, where we are getting some drafting done and working to make it happen. Still a lot of time ahead, and certainly looking to be a very, very fun night. It's been certainly an adventure through the first handful of races of this Outlaw Truck season, and now starting to get down into the meat and potatoes of who is going to fight it out for the championship. We'll talk to you more about that here in just a moment as we roll on through the qualifying. And for just a moment here, we'll give you some of the sights and sounds as these guys draft and try to get their top running positions here at Talladega Superspeedway. Take a listen. As we get set to go green flag tonight, we're going to throw it down trackside now. And before we kick things off here and go to the grid to start tonight's run at the Talladega Superspeedway, we invite you to honor America with us for the singing of our national anthem. So we'll send it trackside for opening ceremonies, Jaden Berkey.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
And we bring you back topside and getting ready to go green flag. Before we do that, we do want to talk about points for just a moment, in the fact that right now Chad Cole, in search of his first Outlaw Truck Series championship, with a win, 2 top 5s, 3 top 10s, and an average finish of 7th that tops the series, leads the championship standings through the halfway point, 5 races down, tonight being race number 6. Chad Coleman, 13 back, and Daniel Eberhardt, 1 point behind Coleman. Coleman, the only driver to have 4 top 10s in 5 races to date. Ross Cato, Scott Simley, the rest of the top 5 in the championship standings. And you want to talk about somebody to watch. Chad Cole has been one of those in many forms and fashions across all 3 Real Sim Racing series, and always entertaining. We're going to see what he can do tonight here in just a few moments. As we get set to roll tonight, I'm going to go ahead and take you through the LSRTV starting grid. And held it through most of the qualifying session, but on the pole for this one, going to be the 4 of C.J. Levere. Levere taking the top spot with a quick time of 49.260 seconds. Stefan Marinac outside pole with 49.290. Dwayne Vincent, Ross Cato, Matt Lacrosse, the top 5. Chad Coleman is 6th. Alex Bergeron is 7th. Scott Simley rolls 8th tonight. Steve Gore rounds out the top 10. Bobby Wetzel in 11th, Mike Montesi 12th. J.R. Johnson rolls from the 13th starting position. Brian Harvey is 14th, and Travis Burks is the 15th starter tonight. Mark Bratcher, Sean Haverly, Scott Bolster, John Ellers, and Anthony DeBarro, the rest of the top 20. Then on back, Keith Brooks, the final truck to take time in 21st. Tim Matthews rolls 22nd tonight. Austin Yarborough 23rd. Chad Cole 24th. The championship leader got a long way to come with Justin Michael 25th. Mike Kelly is 26th. Ken Baum 27th. Dan Eberhardt 28th. TJ Kelly, Kenneth Cornell, the rest of the top 30, and Steve Herring shotgun on a 31 truck field tonight here at Talladega Super Speedway. They're rolling down the Alabama Gang Super Stretch right now, and we're getting ready to get it kicked off here in just about half a lap. And we do want to thank everyone tuning in tonight on LSRTV for the action. Gonna be a very exciting race, and we're looking forward to get the call underway here in just a couple of moments. Trucks rolling through turns 3 and 4. Levere and Marinac, 2 teammates on the front row, ready to lead the field to the American Ethanol green flag tonight. And that American Childhood Cancer Organization Ford GT Mustang pace car going to get ready here to make the hard left turn onto the pit lane and kick things off here tonight from Talladega. Pace car is gone, and 31 trucks set to go green flag racing here tonight. The American Ethanol green flag flies as we work through the tri-oval. Trucks get up to speed, and we are underway here from the Talladega Super Speedway. C.J. Levere is on the jump and going to head down to turn number 1 with a solid bit of an advantage here over his teammate Stefan Marinac. Dwayne Vincent starting to roll and trying to close in the 3rd position. That's going to be a quick battle for the lead as they work down the super stretch. Now Marinac with a run on the high lane of the racetrack. Got one in the wall already. Trouble in the middle of the pack, and a couple of trucks going down underneath the yellow line here early. Dwayne Vincent got a skirmish of it, and right now, though, the battle is up front as Levere has lost the early lead, and it's Marinac with the advantage off turn 4. The 21 of Matt Lacrosse going to be the truck that got a piece of the wall. Started in position number 6 and has found a little bit of chaos here early on in the going at Talladega. Stefan Marinac leads lap number 1 with help from Ross Cato. C.J. Levere's hooked up with Alex Bergeron and rides in that 3rd position. Top 4 or 5 trucks right now, single file, and the chaos beginning early, but everybody trying to settle things out and not do anything too crazy here in the early going as we work lap number 2 already. On back, a couple trucks making some early moves. Mark Bratcher on that opening lap was able to pick off 3. Austin Yarborough, though, the 31 truck, started 23rd, has moved his way all the way up to the 16th position. He's really been able to cut through the draft in a timely manner early, and we see a pretty much single file line here in the early goings, which is going to make things maybe a little bit calmer in some respects. Not necessarily easier, but they at least know you can't win it on lap number 2. Stefan Marinac has led both of them so far as we work back through turns 1 and 2. Now for the 3rd time tonight, the 3-story tall banking as they exit onto the Alabama Gang Super Stretch, and now the leaders headed for turn number 3. It's getting bubbly as 3 wide lap traffic, a slower truck already on the outside, going to test these leaders. Gonna be no harm, no foul as these guys make it happen. Working off turn 4. Still the lead, all Stefan Marinak with an outside lane starting to form just a little bit on the top side. Gonna work back to the line now. Complete 3 laps. Chad Coleman, the truck on the move. That silver truck leading the outside train, has worked his way up to 3rd. Gonna be a quick challenge for the lead here before too long. And we still have a long way to go. Just 3 laps in of 75 here from the Talladega Super Speedway. And again, we'll continue to have all the action here as we go through the night. We're going to take an early commercial break as we've been green flag already. 4 laps going to be in the books. Stefan Marinak, your leader, with Chad Coleman charging from Talladega Super Speedway. You're watching the Real Sim Racing Outlaw Truck Series, powered by Hippie's Paint Shop on LSRTV.
While lions are notorious for their voracious appetites, they spend a great deal of time feeding other creatures. In fact, lions will take great care to ensure there's plenty to go around. As you can see, they keep giving with utter ferocity. Bravo, lions, and bon appetit. Do good, be a lion.
Welcome back to LSRTV coverage of the RSR Outlaw Truck Series from Talladega Super Speedway. Working 75 laps and now working lap number 11 of those 75. And it's been some interesting goings here early on tonight. Justin Michael, truck 87, was the leader last time we ripe, and challenges for the lead have been hot and heavy early on. Michael out in front of this field, trying to hold off an outside lane that finds Stefan Marinak, one of the early front runners, the early race leader, and Chad Coleman, the championship contender, who is second points right now. They're on the outside lane trying to make something happen. Cannot do it, though, as they go into turn number 1. Justin Michael, still your leader with 11 laps in the record books. Through turns 3 and 4 now, Justin Michael still out in front of this field. Austin Yarborough, who started 23rd, has worked his way up to the number 2 position. Both Michael and Yarborough starting on provisionals tonight, and make it 12 now laps in the books of the 75 as the field works their way back to turns 1 and 2. Michael Coleman on the outside lane trying to make a move for the lead in turns 1 and 2. Chad Coleman, the driver who has been second in points to Chad Cole through the goings of this season, the first half of this season, making his way up to position number 17. Across the stripe, lead change with 13 laps complete. Chad Coleman, Austin Yarborough, Bobby Wetzel, Justin Michael, Ross Cato. Now your top 5. Coleman out in front, Yarborough to second, as Michael, who was the leader last time by, drops from 1st to 4th off the corner, and we still roll down the back straightaway 2 wide. Chad Coleman to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to hold everybody at bay from a fast-moving outside lane that does not want to give up the fight. Early race leader Stefan Marinak has fallen all the way back into the middle of the pack. He rides in 14th right now. Can't get a whole lot of momentum going. He's stuck in the pack along with Daniel Eberhardt and the championship leader, Chad Cole, who's now back outside the top 20, who was one of the guys who we figured was going to stay out of the melee here in the early goings tonight and try not to give it a whole lot of issue. He's staying back there, staying out of trouble as they run. They run and watch Bobby Wetzel, who took over the lead from Coleman that last time by 6 1/1000ths of a second. We're going to let you listen. A little sights and sounds from Talladega Super Speedway as we battle for the lead. The 17 of Bobby Wetzel, the 20 of Chad Coleman. Now, field working through turns 3 and 4. Coleman, who was leading last time by, has been overhauled on that outside lane, the one of Alex Bergeron, to the point now for an instant. It's going to be 2 deep, maybe 3 deep for the race lead. Coleman gets shuffled to the 3rd lane with no drafting help. Now he picks up the 17 of Wetzel. It's a battle for the lead between Alex Bergeron and CJ LeVere. LeVere's worked his way to second in the second group. He's charging for the lead. Justin Michael, who led a couple of laps ago, is shoving Coleman back outside the top 5 now as he finds a way into lane number 2. Ducks back to that third lane now. They're trying to get the third group going. There is no help there, though, at all, and it makes it really tough to get something done. CJ LeVere drops to the bottom of the racetrack, leaves Justin Michael out to dry in that second lane. We're working lap number 17 of 75 now, as they fly Bergeron, LeVere, Austin Yarborough, Justin Michael, Chad Coleman, the top 5, followed by Ross Cato, Mike Montesi, Bobby Wetzel, Steve Ritter, and Dwayne Vincent. That's your top 10, as we're 3 wide for the lead into the 33 degrees of banking in turns 1 and 2. Alex Bergeron all the way to the top. You've got now the 4 of CJ LeVere up the middle, and then you've got the bottom lane, which has just shoved to the lead in a big way. Bergeron now on that high outside lane trying to make something happen and cannot do it as they work into turns 3 and 4. LeVere jumps up there now. He wants to help that outside lane try to go to the point. How about Mike Montesi? We weren't even talking about him 5 laps ago. He's worked his way forward. The 31 of Austin Yarborough with the truck leading that inside train. Montesi jumps to the outside, gets a shove from Chad Coleman, leads lap 18. Montesi, now it's Yarborough in the red and black truck on the inside of the racetrack, as CJ LeVere may have just gotten a piece of the wall off turn number 2. Looked like he got a little bit high and got into it. He is alone all by himself now in that third groove. Gonna fall way back to the back end of this 15 truck lead draft. A second pack of cars led by the 89 of Daniel Eberhardt. Let's jump back there for a minute. They are 16 seconds behind the race leaders right now. It's like the 89 of Daniel Eberhardt, the 34 Ken Baum Jr., the 40 Scott Bolster, 98 Steve Herring, 21 Matt Lacrosse, 8 of Chad Cole, 54 Tim Matthews, and others. The 9 truck of Anthony DeBarro has actually gone down a lap, finds himself in the 28th position right now, as we've still got a battle for the lead up front. I'm telling you, Mike Montesi and Austin Yarborough cannot get away from each other. These 2 trucks in lockstep formation, door to door for the race lead for a moment. Now Yarborough a full truck clear as we work into the 33 degrees of banking for turns 3 and 4. Yarborough with a huge push on the inside of the racetrack. The 90 of Ross Cato is down there trying to make some moves, and then behind them the 16 of Steve Ritter, the third truck on that inside lane, with a shove though across the stripe this time. It's Chad Coleman in the second groove who's moved back into the lead of that outside lane, and all of a sudden finds himself all alone in groove number 3. Coleman going to drop back outside the top 5, maybe outside the top 10 off turn 2. 20 laps now complete of the 75. We're coming up on the 1/3 distance mark here this evening. Mike Montesi, the leader. That got dicey as we almost went 3 wide for a moment off of turn number 4. You want to talk about close quarters racing? I don't know how much closer quarters it gets than what we've seen here early on. Montesi, Yarborough now teamed up on the bottom lane of the racetrack. That Carolina Nut machine of Austin Yarborough trying to go forward. The Goodwrench machine of Bobby Wetzel going to the outside, wants the lead, has a shove from Justin Michael, and in 1 and 2. Goodwrench Service Plus, number 17 of Bobby Wetzel, going to have the advantage and the momentum down the back straightaway to make a run for the lead. That unsponsored number 45 truck for Mike Montesi, the black and neon green numbered number 45, Montesi trying to make it happen in 3 and 4. He's got the Carolina Nut Toyota Tundra of Austin Yarborough. This rear deck lid, they're trying to Ross Cato, now with help from the 16 of Steve Ritter. Off turn number 2, Montesi and Yarborough. Now Yarborough looks down to the inside. There was nothing going underneath that yellow line. Montesi trying to hold on the inside lane. Little bit of technical difficulties momentarily there, working to complete lap number 24. When we get back to the stripe, Mike Montesi still your leader. Now they fan out 3 wide in the battle for the lead. Bobby Wetzel to the outside with Justin Michael. Ross Cato to the bottom of the racetrack. And now Alex Bergeron coming up the middle in the Joker lane to help out the one of Austin Yarborough. Wetzel drops down in front of the 31 of Yarborough, and now they're almost 4 wide in turns 3 and 4. It doesn't get much dicier, much closer than this. We work through the tri-oval now. I'm telling you, it does not get any closer than what these guys have shown us through the early stages of this race. 24 laps complete. Still a long way to go. Mike Montesi side by side with Bobby Wetzel for the race lead at the Talladega Superspeedway. Again, Cato, Yarborough, Bergeron, the top 5 with Chad Coleman, who led not 10 laps ago, back outside the top 10 and 11th right now. Chad Cole still in that second draft that now finds themselves 19 seconds off the race lead. As Montesi leads and we come up on 1/3 distance, we're also going to step away here at LSRTV and do some business for our sponsors, but we will be back with more as Montesi and now Cato, your top 2 from the Talladega Superspeedway, where you're watching RSR Outlaw Truck Series coverage on LSRTV, the voice of sim racing.
While lions are notorious for their voracious appetites, they spend a great deal of time feeding other creatures. In fact, lions will take great care to ensure there's plenty to go around. As you can see, they keep giving with utter ferocity. Bravo, lions, and bon appetit. Do good, be a lion.
Trucking has always been a part of me. It started years ago when my dad and granddad were hauling vegetables to market in Liverpool. The family immigrated to Canada in the late 60s and settled near Alliston, Ontario. I bought my first truck in 1982 and Mercer Trucking was born. Today, Mercer Trucking has over 50 trucks in terminals in Toronto and Los Angeles. Our storage facilities at both terminals can handle any size of distribution needs throughout North America. We service the continental U.S., including Hawaii and Alaska. We run over 120,000 miles per month and some of the best equipment on the road today. We specialize in less than truckload shipments, show freight, we do rush team service deliveries, and haul your refrigerated or heated product. Our regular team service from Canada to California is second to none, and our staff and drivers are among the best in the business. I'm proud of our people and what they can achieve. Trucking is in my blood, it's my livelihood, and it's what I do best.
Welcome back to LSRTV coverage of the RSR Outlaw Truck Series presented by Hip Paint Shop from the Talladega Super Speedway. An exciting first 30 laps of this event finds currently Ross Cato in truck 90 out front as we come across the line to complete lap number 31 and bring you into the Inside Sim Racing broadcast tower. Jacob Seelman with you for all the action tonight here on LSR TV, and Ross Cato out in front of this field. Austin Yarborough, the Carolina Nut Toyota Tundra, trying to get some steam to go to the outside and battle for the lead. Doesn't have a lot of help, though. The 46 of Mark Bratcher, his closest friend, riding in position number 3 right now. But slowly but surely working his way up the outside of the racetrack. The Fanatec, number 66 of Brian Harvey, the 66 machine, starting to work his way forward on the outside lane. Right now, getting a little bit of help on that outside from Justin Michael. Michael Light up there right now, and it's been certainly very entertaining to watch his kind of roller coaster run, because he's been from the back to the front, back to the back, and now forward again, and it's wheel to wheel for the lead off turn number 2. Brian Harvey led that last lap by 7/1000ths of a second, and now he goes to war with Ross Cato as they work down the back straightaway and into turn 3. Advantage Harvey with Michael pushing, and now Mark Bratcher up to the outside in that Toyota Tundra, trying to make it a 3-truck run as they work through 3 and 4. Across the stripe. Advantage Ross Cato this. Mark Bratcher, the rest of the top 5 as they run. Down the super stretch we come again. What was a 2-truck battle, now about an 8-truck battle for the race lead. It's in 2 lanes, though. 4 on the bottom, 4 on the top. And the advantage on that bottom lane, the 31 of Austin Yarborough pushing that 90 of Cato back towards the lead. Alex Bergeron in the 1, and now the 96 of Stefan Marinak making some moves. 34 laps complete, this time across the stripe. And it's still 2 by 2 by 2 by 2, and now Yarborough getting a little bit dicey. You want to be really careful how you move that truck sideways, especially in the corners. Cato's got to be careful to not let that truck get squirrely with Yarborough pushing him like that. Otherwise, it gets really dicey real quick. 35 complete going to be when they get back to the stripe, which means we'll have 40 laps to go. Still a lot of time for different things to happen here this evening, and I'm going to take you a little bit down the full field rundown here just prior to the halfway. In fact, we'll do it momentarily. Pit stops now looks like are going to be underway. The 31 of Austin Yarborough leading a big group to pit road. Alex Bergeron is with him. Looks like Chad Coleman in the 20 coming down as well. We'll follow the pit stop for the 31 of Austin Yarborough, who drops into his stall. and almost overshot it just a little bit. Right side's going up on that machine. Going to get 4 Goodyear Wranglers and a full tank of virtual Sunoco race fuel before he'll be down and away. That Carolina Nut Company Toyota Tundra making it happen so far this evening, but that's left the lead in the hands of the 66 of Brian Harvey. Then it's Justin Michael and Ross Cato, your top 3. They run in single file formation for the moment, but the race leaders coming this time. Brian Harvey bringing a big group down to the pit lane. Harvey, Dwayne Vincent, Mark Butcher, Stefan Marinac, and others all coming down to the pit lane under this set. Probably about 5 or 6 of your lead draft all coming down pit road right here. That hands the lead over to the 87 of Justin Michael. Two trucks left that crossed the stripe this time and have not pitted. The 87 Justin Michael, 90 of Ross Cato. The 2 trucks that have stayed out and continue to lead the train here at the Talladega Superspeedway. John Ehlers making the signal. He's going to come down the road this time by. Ehlers towards the back of the pack here this evening, or at least has been for a decent portion of this race. Actually was riding in the 5th position in the 09 truck. Going to step away for a moment here on LSRTV, just finishing green flag pit stops, and we'll reset that in order for you here in just a couple of minutes. Justin Michael just gave up the lead. Mike Kelly now scored in the top spot, approaching halfway from Talladega Superspeedway. You're watching LSRTV, the voice of sim racing.
User disconnected from your channel. channel.
And welcome back to RSR Outlaw Truck Series. This is Tyler Herr up in the booth, Laura Lawson with the production, filling in for Jacob Seelman at the moment. Just got finished with some green flag pit stops, and side by side for the lead is the 20 of Chad Coleman and Justin Michael. Seems as if though there is just an 8-car pack in the lead group here, and then about 9 seconds back you have 9th place Brian Harvey leading that pack. But back up front, 87 holding the inside line with the 46 of Mark Bratcher pushing. Outside line of Chad Cole, Austin Yarborough, and Alex Bergeron are pushing out there. Still about coming to 30 laps to go in this event. Still, anything can happen. Seems as if though the field is very spread out at this point, with the top 8 within half a second of each other. Before the pit stops, everyone on pit road, it looked like Chad Cole had some heavy front end damage. Doesn't look like he's going to be up to par for finishing this race. Still 2 by 2 by 2 going down the backstretch into turn 3. Chad Cole throws the block on Justin Michael to secure the lead going into turn 3. Strong push on the outside. That is the 31 of Austin Yarborough, the 1 of Alex Bergeron pushing him, trying to get to the front. Just very close racing, still with under 30 laps to go here. Austin is really trying to use a side draft, very close, almost in contact with 46, and Mark Bratcher just trying to hold on the bottom there, just trying to figure out what's going on up there between the 31 and the 87. Still, Chad Coleman leading this group of cars right now as they come out of turn number 4. Just seems like the 31 and the 1 are just going back and forth trying to get that run to try and get into the lead side by side. We're going to give that lap to Austin Yarborough by 6/1000ths of a second. Top 4 all within 1/10 of a second that lap. The Austin Yarborough machine is almost clear of the 20 of Chad Coleman. Pulls right down, leaves the 1 out to dry there as this pack is starting to pick up more cars as the number 9 of Anthony DeBarro is closing in. Anthony DeBarro right now 2 laps off the pace. Alex Bergeron leading the high side there with the 34 truck right behind him of Ken Baum Jr. Justin Michael pulls out to the outside in front of Alex Bergeron to try and get that push. Huge run off the corner. Looks like Justin Michael really is getting a huge push. He is clear of the 31 of Austin Yarborough. The 1 is clear. 1 drops down. Let's see if he's gonna let Justin Michael keep the lead there. Huge push coming off turn number 2. New leader Justin Michael right now as they hit bumpers in the middle of 3 and 4 there. 1 truck taking a little peek, trying to cool down the engine as the 31 switches to the outside line with Chad Coleman pushing it. The 96 truck of Stefan Marinak is now sitting in 5th place as they are going to work around a tight pack of lap traffic, 3 wide off the corner, very tight there for the leaders. Everyone gets through safely, and the 31 trying to get a push for the lead as they go into turn number 3. Still side by side for the lead, the 87 and the 31 almost touch exiting turn number 2. The one truck trying to push the 87 as 31 is going to clear the 87 for the lead, which leaves Chad Coleman, your new outside leader, going into turn number 1 and 2. The 31 of Austin Yarborough very aggressive trying to get to the front. '31 and 87 working together on the bottom side as they head into turn number 3. The 20 and the 34 of Ken Baum Jr. and Chad Coleman trying to pair up. Anthony DeBarro still 2 laps down, pushing, trying to keep that outside run alive. Coming up on a big group of lap traffic here. It's going to be very tight. The 87 on the apron. It's going to be 3-4 wide as they go down into contact. 16 heavy contact. Everyone saves it. The 31 of Austin Yarborough somehow manages to hold on as he gets tagged, and he's on the apron. He's going to come back. Oh, collides with the 21.
Trouble off turn 2, back straight away. Austin Yarborough around, and after 52 laps, the first caution flag of the night flies, and it's the race leader last time by. The dominant truck all night long now, the Carolina Nut Toyota Tundra, takes a piece of the outside safer barrier, and it was green for a while, and then it got bad quickly. That's going to put us under the first Service Master Clean caution of the night, and it comes at the expense of potentially the most dominant truck here in Talladega. Austin Yarborough around, and it's really going to shuffle up the front runners here as we close in on the final laps here in Talladega. 23 laps to go when they cross the stripe this time. And still a lot to be settled out. Chad Coleman going to be the race leader. Everybody starts to cycle through. Justin Michael, Stefan Marinak, Mark Bratcher, Dwayne Vincent now 5 as Yarborough again gets a piece of the outside safer barrier and puts us under the first caution flag of the night. You want to talk about clean and green? It's hard to believe at Talladega, but we've done it all night long, and oh boy. As we get the rest of the crew in here now. Cisco Scaramuzza, we talk about Talladega all the time, and 52 laps as a green flag run to start a truck race is not what I expected. We get it, and then we don't.
Yeah, and that's just plate racing going for you right now. But glad to be. We literally just got off the private plane from Atlanta. We're here at Talladega, and we're ready to finish out this Outlaw Truck Series race. And these guys at RSR, they always do a great job on the plate races. And this race so far has been, another reflection of it. Going this long without a caution, that's almost unheard of at a plate track like this. But they're doing it, and I think it's going to get real exciting because everyone's bunched back up, and it's going to make this really exciting.
Yeah, a bunch of guys coming down pit road right now under the caution flag, including the race leader, Chad Coleman. Mark Bratcher actually going to be scored as the leader as they cross the stripe. But Coleman down pit road going to be what we assume to be final stops tonight for all of this lead pack. Coleman waiting on fuel. Actually, I think maybe getting just a little bit of damage fixed to that number 20 truck as he comes down and away that Midnight Thunder entry. And Justin Michael, Alex Bergeron, among others, in that lead pack, all down pit road under this first Service Master Clean caution flag of the evening that came with just 23 laps to go. When we get the restart, we'll have about a 19-lap dash to the finish. But first, we're going to go LSRTV nonstop for a brief moment here as Mark Bratcher scored the leader from the Talladega Superspeedway. You're watching coverage of the RSR Outlaw Truck Series presented by Hippie's Paint Shop. Stand by.
While lions are notorious for their voracious appetites, they spend a great deal of time feeding other creatures. In fact, lions will take great care to ensure there's plenty to go around. As you can see, they keep giving with utter ferocity. Bravo, lions, and bon appetit. Do good, be a lion.
Welcome back to LSRTV coverage of the Real Sim Racing Outlaw Truck Series presented by Hippie's Paint Shop. 20 laps to go from the Talladega Super Speedway, gearing up for what's only our first American Ethanol restart of the night. And the band's together now. Jacob Seelman here in the Inside Sim Racing Broadcast Tower. Cisco Scaramuza, Ben Kilcrease, Tyler Herr along for the ride. And boy, Cisco, I think we're about to get a party because it had been lean and green for too long here at Talladega. Every once in a while, you just want to restart at one of these plate tracks because you know it's going to get fun. It just got fun.
Oh yeah, I think they were just waiting for us to all finally get off the plane from Atlanta, but we're here now, and we're going to bring you the last 20 or so laps, and come on. It's plate track. It's Talladega. We've been doing this all week. It's been exciting all week, and I don't think it's going to stop tonight.
I don't think so. Mark Bratcher, the Real Deal Graphics number 46, out in front after the final cycle of pit stops for many of our race leaders. Justin Michael, Stefan Marinak going to restart inside row and outside row number 2 respectively. The reason for our first caution, if you're just joining us, the 31, Austin Yarborough, the race leader. Before the caution, got a piece of the outside wall, had some help in the draft, but now out of this race, the Carolina Nut Toyota Tundra not going to make it to the finish line tonight. Working off turn number 4, going to be a 19-lap dash to the checkered flag with Bratcher leading the way as the American Childhood Cancer Organization Ford Mustang GT pace car. Going to make that hard left turn to the safety of pit road. It's gone, and we're ready to go racing. This restart powered by American Ethanol, American-made, American-grown, and we roll here to the flag. Green flag back in the air. Bratcher on the gun, and now the 87 and Justin Michael going to try to give him a shove up to speed. Outside lane, you've got Marinak pushing John Ellers down to turn 1, Cisco, and I'm telling you, whichever lane breaks free first, you're going to find the advantage, and I think Justin Michael found the momentum to shove. Let's go.
And yeah, we're watching Justin Michael. He gets a huge run right there, Ben, but he's going to move up to that second lane there, try to block the 09 of Ellers, but Ellers is actually going to go to the third lane there. He has no help. He's probably going straight to the back.
3 wide for a brief moment as they run down into turn number 2. Now Michaels leads the outside line with Marinak on his rear bumper.
Off turn 4, and now we're going to pick it up, the 46. Yeah, somebody. 46 now, Mark Bratcher to the bottom. They were 3 wide for a moment. Dwayne Vincent to the third position. Make it runner-up across the stripe as Justin Michael and Vincent wheel to wheel, and now here comes the 87 back up the outside of the racetrack. Battle for the lead.
They'll go side by side. The advantage to Bratcher on the inside. Now Mike with help from Marinak from the outside line. They'll pull dead even as they race down into turn number 3. Vincent right on the bumper of the 46 of Bratcher. Now Vincent, a little bit of separation from the bottom group. Can we see the outside prevail off turn number 4 with the separation from the bottom?
Service says not going to happen off turn number 4, at least not enough to get clear. But you see Justin Michael starting to get the shove. Stefan Marinak, Tyler, really getting a piece of this now. And I'm telling you, Marinak may be the best pusher left across the stripe.
Marinak and Michael pushing each other all the way out to the lead. Bratcher now the guy that's third in the bottom line, the 09, is going to make it 3 wide as Dwayne Vincent dives down to the bottom.
Back.
And right now, it looks like the 09 is going to shoot to the outside there. He's going to get to the front of CJ LeVere right there. LeVere's going to try and push the 09 now to the lead as they come out of turn 4. Jacob, it doesn't look like that outside line's able to get really working here as looks like Eberhard in the 34. That's 34 of Kenny Baum. He's coming up on the outside.
Outside lane is not organized right now, though I think with Bratcher going up there, they might get a little bit of steam now. That 09 of Ellers was not able to pull that outside lane forward. Bratcher now trying to do it almost by himself. Now he's got the help, and you've even got 2 trucks up in the third lane. That's not going to get you anywhere here as we come down. Going to be 15 to go when they get back down to the stripe, down the Alabama Gang super stretch, and Ben headed for 3. It's 3 deep in the middle of the pack, but door-to-door for the race lead between
I'm watching that very high groove. Led by Montesi, got Eberhardt and Baum. All three strong trucks starting to form on the very outside rim here at Talladega Superspeedway. They are slowly but surely gaining ground. These guys could be 3 by 3 by 3 within a lap or two. The outside line, the very outside line is coming. The middle groove has the advantage to the tri-oval.
And I can't believe Montesi's able to make that work up top, but when you've got perhaps who's been the fastest truck, Cisco, all season long in these Outlaw trucks with Daniel Eberhardt pushing you, why not? They've got some steam. They're up about to third in the outside lane, and they're still charging for more.
It looks like they got 5 mile an hour on the rest of the packets. There they go to the outside. Montesi's got a huge run. He's going to pull a nose in front of the 46 of Bratcher. Bratcher going to dive back to the bottom. Going to try and get help from Justin Michael. That top line, it looks like they're stalling out on the outside. But right now, looks like Montesi's going to drop to the middle lane. He's going to leave Eberhardt. Eberhardt's going to get pushed by Kenny Baum. And now they get into four-way trouble. Oh, boy.
Caution flag flies for the second time. Eberhardt tried to make it 4 wide coming into the tri-oval, and that's not gonna work. It all got really dicey really quick. Oh, Marinac makes it through to the line. Dwayne Vincent second. Mark Bratcher, Kenny Baum wadded up in this. Lavere, Montesi, Simley, Cato, Bergeron. That's half the field before you get to the tri-oval, Cisco.
That was huge. That was huge. That's what happens at Talladega. We're going to hopefully take a look at the replay. We'll see if we can get that on your screen. But it looks like what happened there, everyone ran out of room. You know, they're trying to go 4 wide here, but looks like everyone trying to get in that outside lane to try and get the run there, and it just didn't work out there, Tyler.
Not one bit did that work out. Everybody up front got a piece. Marinac even got a piece of that, slid through the grass, or was more likely forced through the grass. I don't know who's left with a clean truck now. That was huge.
I have an answer to that question, actually, and I'm looking at him. The A&W machine. I think Dwayne Vincent, and maybe Brian Harvey. Dwayne Vincent and maybe Brian Harvey, I think, are about the only 2 trucks. Scott Bolster, oh boy. So, three trucks maybe, Cisco, that don't have any damage in this. Vincent's headed for pit road, but I would imagine just about everybody needs to head to pit road and screw their heads back on straight after this one. Wow.
Yeah, that was the whole field right there. I mean, it's not often we get to say that on LSRTV, but that was the whole field right there. And, you know, Ben, you know, you and I, we've worked together for a little bit. We've seen some big wrecks. I think that's the biggest wreck we've seen.
It certainly ranks at the top of the list. You guys kept saying 4 wide. If you go back and watch the replay closer, they were almost trying to go 5 wide off of turn number 4, and that just causes a big melee down the front straightaway here at Talladega Superspeedway and through the tri-oval. And like you said, it's easier to count the trucks that weren't involved than it is that were. And that was the whole field. Dwayne Vincent, even though it looked like he had it made through, he got tagged at the very last moment. Vincent has a little bit of damage to the right rear of that truck from getting tagged and then turned. Just a lot of melee on the front straightaway to put us under our second caution tonight here at Talladega.
Yeah, and we're down now to just over 10 laps to go. I think it will be 10 to go by the time we get the restart, Cisco. And you got to wonder now what you got left to fight with, because I just heard over the radio that Marinac has some damage that he needs to deal with. And Brian Harvey, of all trucks, we know he's good in the draft, but who would have thought after all that just happened, Brian Harvey, Ross Cato, Tim Matthews, Mike Kelly, the top 4. I've not seen Mike Kelly that high up in the field this entire night, except during pit stops. Now he's got a shot to win this thing.
And it's interesting, looking through the trucks that really don't have damage. Ross Cato, Tyler and I have actually gotten to race against him in the Noble Cup Series. We've raced against him. Great racer. Brian Harvey, obviously a regular here in RSR, driving the Mobile 1 machine. And then Tim Matthews and Mike Kelly, both regulars for United Sim Racing over there. They run with some of the Steel Horse guys, but a lot of great talent up here, and a lot of guys we haven't really talked about a whole lot tonight.
I would agree with that. And then, of course, you've got Chad Cole in 5th. What does he do? He leads points. How does he lead points? He survives things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's everyone's pacing around right now. Cole does have a little bit of rear end damage there, but looking at the rest of the trucks, I don't think that's too bad. And, Monday night, we saw in the icebreaker race, you can drive a vehicle with a little bit of damage. You can keep that thing up front if you just keep it tucked away in the draft.
Yeah, you can, and that's what's going to be really interesting. So you've got Brian Harvey, who leads this race in the Fanatec Mobil 1 Chevy Silverado, and check that, Cato. Harvey had the lead last time by Ross. Cato now scored as the leader as we work down the back straightaway. He's way out ahead of the rest of the field. Ross is. He's having a little fun up there with the pace car, waiting on everybody to get back to him. But I'm going to tell you what, this completely changes the complexion of these last 10 laps now as Cato takes that Sirius XM Toyota Tundra for a spin. And, a lot of times we see, Cisco, drivers in RSR, if you're going to get your first series win, there's a pretty good bet that you have a shot at Talladega or Daytona. And Cato, we've been waiting to see when he was going to have his breakout performance. Honestly, I figured he'd have gotten a win before now. But to be as strong as he's been over the first 5 races, the first half of this season, it doesn't at all surprise me to see him in contention tonight. I mean, we've documented he has had a lot of speed.
A lot of speed, and of course, the plate track's always the great equalizer. And, reminds me, Brian Macklin was talking about it on Tuesday during the pro race. There is some skill to plate tracks. A lot of people think, you just go out there and drive straight, basically, and turn a little bit left. That's all you have to do, and then the draft will pull you the lead. Not really. There is a little bit of skill, and, it does take some of these people to do well on the plate tracks. They're the people, You see it in real life. The people like Jamie McMurray, Dale Earnhardt Jr., those guys know how to get it done on the plate tracks. And Ben, you've been fortunate enough to see races here at Talladega in real life. It's not as easy as it looks, or that a lot of people make it out to be.
Well, back in my racing career, I've been fortunate enough to race at Talladega and Daytona, and compared to other tracks, yeah, it's easy as far as steering and gas and brake pedal work, but as far as the mental side of things, not any easier than, say, Martinsville or even Sonoma at that. Mentally, Jacob, these guys are on the edge of their seats every single foot of this racetrack.
Yeah, they really are. Lights are out on the Ford Mustang GT American Childhood Cancer Organization sponsored pace car, and of a whopping 12 trucks left on the lead lap after that one. I'm telling you, I think we may have about 5 of them that don't have some semblance of serious damage. We're going to find out who's got what left here in about, a third of a lap when we go back underway. Ross Cato and Brian Harvey going to be the 2 trucks on the front row, ready to go back to the green flag here after just the second caution of the night at lap 61. Pace car is gone, and we're set to roll here as they enter the tri-oval. Gonna wait till they see the flag before Cato picks up the gas. He's waiting. And there it is, American Ethanol green flag back in the air, and on the hammer, the 90 of Ross Cato leads the field down towards the 33-degree bank in 3 stories high into turn number 1. It's wheel-to-wheel, 2x2, little bit of 3 wide, but it's a 7-truck breakaway out in front of this field. And anybody that may have discounted Chad Cole's ability to win this race, he's in this lead draft, and you can promise he's not done yet. Dwayne Vincent also in that A&W truck. He's got some damage repaired on that machine, ready to make a charge down the super stretch.
And the Wonder Kid, Alex Bergeron, he's 4th in line on that bottom. He's not out of this thing yet. He's doing a great job right there in that Nesquik machine. Right now, Mike Kelly is going to try and pinch down on the 8 of Chad Cole, trying to get that outside line going. Brian Harvey trying to get the push. They're going to get a run here as they come down the front stretch. Harvey's going to go take a look. He's staying on that outside. He's looking for that lead line right now. He's going to need a couple more trucks, and here comes someone to help him right now. And that's probably one of the best people you can have helping you, that number 11 of Dwayne Vincent.
Yeah, Dwayne Vincent coming to give you some drafting help? Oh boy, this just got good. Brian Harvey wheel to wheel on the outside lane. He's finally able to take it to Cato. Battle for the lead off turn number 2. They're 2 by 2 by 2 all the way back through the top 6. Advantage now, Brian Harvey. A big shove from Mike Kelly, headed for 3.
Do we see Harvey pull down in front of Cato? No, not going to have the room he needs down in 3 and 4. Cato, the bottom side, shorter way around the racetrack. Going to have the advantage through the turns. You'll see Harvey pull dead even with him, though, back through the trioval with help from Kelly. He's got help from Vincent. Look at Marinak back there. He's starting to work the outside line. We're going to have a bigger pack of lead lap trucks here in just a moment.
Lead change, 8 laps to go.
Tyler,
Advantage Brian Harvey at the start-finish line. Not going to make it work into 1 and 2. Now that lead pack starting to grow just a little bit. What was 6 trucks is now 9 trucks. As we work off turn number 2, down the Alabama Gang super stretch, still 2 by 2 for the lead. Problem now with the outside lane as Stefan Marinak jumps up to play. That outside lane, Cisco, it's hard to get formed up. There's barely enough trucks to go 2 by 2 at this point.
Yeah, and they're stacking up right now, and Anthony DeBarro, who's a lap down, pushed Marinak all the way up to that lead pack, but right now, Tyler, they're making a run right now, and Marinak's looking really strong in that truck right there.
Marinak just threaded the needle on the backstretch, pulling up in front of Dwayne Vincent while he was right behind Chad Cole, and now that outside line has the steam it needs to try and push its way alongside and past that bottom line. But right now, Alex Bergeron, he's just hiding back there. Looks like he's going to try and make a last-minute move with him hanging back of this draft.
I think the word that Chad Cole would use is lurking, and that's Cole has said about this young kid ever since he joined the series this season, Cisco. We don't call him Wonder Kid for nothing, and he really has been lurking. He's done that in just about all the races this year. He'll kind of hang out. He'll be in contention. He'll be right in the picture, but he won't make the move until it's absolutely time to go. He nearly won Daytona to start this season and just missed out a little bit to Scott Simley. Now he's in potential to maybe get that first win here in another plate race with 6 laps to go. He's right on the back of this lead train, and when you've got DeBarro with a clean truck ready to push, he'll push.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the person to make the move, though, right now is going to be that 24 Mike Kelly. He keeps getting all the way to that back bumper of the 66 of Harvey. Can't go anywhere. I think we see the 24 jump to the outside, make it 3 wide, try to win it with Marinak and Vincent pushing him. But I guess we'll have to find out here. Maybe that, or they'll just kick him to the outside.
5 laps to go when we get back to the stripe. A little more than 12 miles remaining here at Talladega Super Speedway as they work through the trioval again. A 10-truck lead draft, 9 on the lead lap, and 1 Anthony DeBarro back there lurking, waiting to see who he may be able to push forward towards the front of this field. A caution flag now would end it. They work through turn 2. Ross Cato and Brian Harvey. How about a dead heat last time by the stripe? Advantage Cato, but man, you couldn't have put it any closer.
Had to go down to the 10,000th of a second. We don't even have that capability as they head down into turn number 3. Again, Harvey with the slight advantage. Bergeron looking everywhere to try and find a little bit of draft. He's at the back of this field. He is running out of time to make a move. Jacob, he can't go up to the outside line because, like you said, there's barely enough trucks to go 2 wide. You can't push 3 wide with only 8, 9 trucks in the lead pack.
DeBarro's starting to slip backwards a little bit now. 4 laps to go here at Talladega Super Speedway. We're really getting down to it now. Advantage Cato again, 28 1,000. With 4 laps to go, Brian Harvey, Tim Matthews, Mike Kelly, again that top 4, still in lockstep formation. The question now, who's going to be the first to try and go?
2 by 2 by 2 by 2. Going into turn number 3, all these drivers now are white knuckle. They're holding on to that wheel with everything they've got. Hearts are pounding. They want to try and get this win as they're going to come to 3 laps to go now. Harvey, the 66, getting the push from the 24 right now. It looks like Harvey is going to lead this lap. 3 laps to go. 7.5
miles, Cisco, and I'm still eyeing the 96. Stefan Marinak, I don't think he's done with this just yet either. He's got Dwayne Vincent and Alex Bergeron back there. Bergeron drops to the bottom now, which I'm a little surprised by, but you know, the 96 and the 11, if anybody can make a third groove, maybe work and get a run, stall some people out, it's them.
Yeah, it looks like Bergeron's going to run the middle lane somehow and maybe try and benefit from two lines punching a hole in the air. He's going to pull right back up to the bumper of Vincent. He's going to try to kick Vincent to the high side. He's going to try and take it 3 wide. They are 3 wide as they head through 4. Really close right there, but Vincent, he's out of help. Bergeron just kicked the Cup champ to the outside.
Oh, why not? 2 laps to go. Double popsicle sticks when we get to the flag. Bergeron now the one pushing Marinak, and Bergeron trying to work the middle, goes to the bottom of the racetrack. That's where it gets a little dicey. That's where Wonder Kid picks up the champ, Jack Cole. Now 5 trucks on the bottom of the racetrack, make it a 9-truck lead draft. All of them on the lead lap fighting for the win. Lap and a half to go. It's still Cato and Harvey deadlocked for the lead.
A lot of separation up at the top of the racetrack. 4 trucks up there, and there's about a truck length in between the 2 packs. Down in turn number 3, still dead heat, 2 by 2 by 2. Is Bergeron going to make it through the field, or who is going to make it up there? Who steps out first? 3 wide for a brief moment. We head to the tri-oval and to the white flag to begin the final lap of Talladega.
Final time around, Brian Harvey leads the way with a push from Mike Kelly. They head back to turn 1 and into the view of Cisco Scaramuza for the final time tonight.
And here they come through turn 1 and 2. It looks like the 24 is going to get junked on that outside. He doesn't have the run. The 66 is leading it. Ross Cato, though, he's trying to push Harvey as they head down the back straightaway.
All night long, Harvey has been trying to clear Cato. He gets it done on the final lap, heading down into turn number 1. Does the outside line have enough momentum to get back up there? Who is going to step out? We'll find out as we head to the stretch for the final time tonight.
Off turn 4 for the last time. Brian Harvey being pushed by Ross Cato. Mike Kelly up the outside. Don't know if he's going to have enough momentum. They come to the tri-oval. 3 wide back in the pack. Cato looks below the line. Not going to be enough. How about that? To the line. Mike Kelly by 11 1/1000ths of a second got the run right at the last moment and steals his first career RSR victory. How about that?
How many of these close finishes are we going to have? We had it at Daytona and we had it here. The 24 Exalta Chevrolet. Mike Kelly gets it done here. That's huge right there. First RSR victory for him. First win the Outlaw Series. Gonna help him out in points. That's a big win right there for that number 24 truck.
And I didn't think he was gonna get it, Cisco. I thought the Harvey Cato tandem had it coming to the line, and all of a sudden that in the last hard, just enough momentum for Kelly to make the surge.
And probably one of my favorite expressions Darrell Welch have ever said. He just drove it up on the outside and he won it.
And they crashed past the finish line. Cato comes up third and ends up in the inside safer barrier. I'm watching this back again. I mean, Cato looked to the bottom of the racetrack, and then it was Marinak that got into the side of him after the 54 of Tim Matthews was the first truck to go spinning. And it was that break in momentum, I think, when Harvey lost Cato as his partner coming to the line. When Cato went to the inside, I think that was the difference.
Yeah, I really think that side draft such a huge part for that 24. But he did such a great job, was able to drive it up on the outside, win the race at the line. Man, these plate tracks, they have some of the best finishes we've seen for quite a while, and we've been just having one great finish after another. You could talk about last week in the pro race, Faye Ash getting it done on the outside. Now we have this, we had Daytona. Man, we're just having all sorts of great finishes. What about Terry on Monday?
Oh man, it doesn't get much better than this. It was 9 1/1000ths Monday night in the Icebreaker Series, 11 1/1000ths here, and Mike Kelly gets it done. The Exalta, number 24, to victory lane for the first time in his RSR career. And we'll chat with him when we come back for the LSRTV post-race show. Yeah, we're hyped. This is Talladega. You're watching LSRTV, the voice of sim racing. Welcome back to LSRTV coverage of the RSR Outlaw Truck Series from Talladega Super Speedway. Post-race show on tap. Jacob Seelman, Tyler Herr, Cisco Scaramuza, Ben Kilcrease. Oh, boy. What a finish. 11 1,000ths of a second. They're going to be talking about this one for a while, but before we start talking about it, we're going to let the drivers talk about it, and we're going to go trackside. Cisco, I think you're standing by with the cat that we thought for the longest time was going to win this race. And then about the last lap and a half, Ross Cato just got shuffled out.
Yeah, I'm down here on pit road with Ross. And Ross, man, I've raced against you over in Noble, seen you do so well here in the Outlaw Truck Series, and then, it looked like you were going to have it won here. Talk us through that last, oh man, I don't know what that was. It was a battle. It was crazy.
Well, first of all, that wreck in the tri-oval, that was a doozy to get through. I just saw the smoke and turned dead left and just went in the grass. But that last 20 lap run, the 54, great pushing. Was surprised that he lasted as long as he did with air. But yeah, that last lap, the 24 had just enough steam to push the 66 past me, and it was heartbreaking. But I'm happy I finished as high as I did, and that I led as many laps as I did.
Yeah, we're looking kind of down pit road right now. You and about 3 other trucks have absolutely no damage. How are you able to keep it clean for the whole race tonight?
I've always tried to be a really methodical racer and just think of the big picture. It is Talladega, so it's usually feast or famine, but just tried to be very careful around other guys. And I feel like I've kind of hit a stride in this league with figuring out which guys are going to give me room, which guys are going to run me over, and which guys are just going to be moving chicanes. But it's really all about just being really careful and knowing who you're racing with.
Well, Ross, you finished third tonight. You beat out Stefan Marinak by about 3 100ths of a second in the line, so another close finish there. Who'd you want to thank? Who gets it done for you in the 90 team?
I just want to thank this league, Mr. Abbott. He's been very gracious. I really enjoy racing in this league. It's very stressful at times and frustrating, but that's just part of racing. I want to thank my friends Aubrey and Mary Beth, and I want to thank you guys for putting on such a great show. It's a very professionally done broadcast, and I always enjoy going back and watching it.
Well, that's Ross Cato. He finishes third tonight. We're still getting the jet lag out here from Atlanta, but another person who joined us in for the broadcast, Ben Kilcrease, has caught up with your second place finisher, Brian Harvey.
Thank you very much, Cisco. He made the last lap move. We thought it was going to be the move of the race. Turned out not to be. Brian, we talked about it. The move down in turn number 1. You pulled down in front of Cato. On the final lap, your drafting buddy Mike Kelly, though, beats you to the line in the tri-oval. Do you think there's anything you could have done differently to win this race?
Mike. No, I don't know. I mean, we had a good thing going up there, but the bottom just opened up, and I just had to go with it. And I guess Ross got loose through the tri-oval, so I had nobody pushing me to the line. But I seriously thought I won until I got to turn 1, and it changed me to position 2.
Yeah, very close. 11 1,000ths of a second. Even blink your eye in that amount of time. Walk us through the whole race. A lot of big, or not a lot of big crashes, but a couple big crashes, taking out some heavy names. Puts you up there at the top of the back for the restart, and you work your way up on the outside line. And like I said, you're able to finally clear on that last lap. But talk all the crashes. How did you get through the 2 big ones tonight?
I don't know. The first one was no problem. It wasn't even hard. The second one, they all wrecked right in front of me, and the ball I was in the high line. I have no idea how I made it through that. I mean, you should look in my cockpit. It's ridiculous. Sliding, going every which way, and somehow I got through that with no damage at all.
Made it sound pretty easy, too. A lot of carnage right in front of you. Did an amazing job avoiding all of it. Come up just short. Maybe a foot short of victory lane here tonight. But who you want to thank for putting you in position number 2? Still a great finish tonight here at Talladega.
I got to congratulate Mike and thank him for the pushing. That was awesome. Stefan, he was there with us the whole time, too. If we'd stayed together, it would have been a different story. But and thank you guys. And I heard about Lauren. I'm praying for her and RSR and Hippie's Paint Shop. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you next go around. That is Brian Harvey down here on pit road, second place finisher tonight. We'll send it down to Jacob Silman, who is caught up with your winner in Gatorade Victory Lane. Jacob?
I'm still trying to process this one. We barely wrapped our heads around it, and as fast as we were ready to say that it was done, and Brian Harvey won the race with the move coming off turn 4, and then Mike Kelly, you show up. You were Brian's pusher most of that last run. He was able to get to the bottom, and it looked like from us, kind of left you high and dry there on that last lap. Where did the run come to be able to get him at the stripe?
A good push from behind from Stefan Marinick, I believe. And I don't know if the inside row got bunched up a little, but I told Brian, we've raced together a lot, and I told him by private message before we went back to green there, I said, I'm going to push you like hell, and I was ready to push him to the win. And I don't really blame him for going down to the bottom like that, but he went to the bottom, and I was like, well, I'm going for it now, and it worked out. I got a heck of a run down the backstretch. Stefan pushed me at just the right time. And, sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug. And I busted through the door tonight. I've been running good, and I'm thrilled to death about it. I'll tell you what, that was an exciting one.
Oh, gosh, I think it's the third straight crazy finish that we've seen this week on LSRTV. That's both the icebreaker and the truck races here for RSR that have been that close. And, for you, this is your first major win with RSR. And, we've seen you be up in the competition. You're not fourth in points for nothing, but how sweet is it to finally bust down that door and get to victory lane with a field as stacked as this one has been?
It feels really good, and anyone can win on these tracks pretty much in this league, but you got to be in position, you got to get through all the big wrecks. I actually, my first green flag pit, I messed up, and the person coming in behind me, we were both coming in hot, and I was watching him, and I drove by my pit stall, so I had to go back out and come around, and then I got a lap down and just hung with that lead group. Missed the wreck that they had, got back around on the lead lap, and then it was just, hammered down from there.
Was it ever? I mean, 52 laps before we even had the first caution of the night. Were you surprised that we went green that long?
A little bit, but not so much. That tends to be a pattern with these races, and that's why I was just doing the old hang in the back strategy. And then there was some incidents that didn't bring out yellows early, and we got separated into 2 packs, and you're getting real anxious back there being that far behind, but you just keep telling yourself it's going to happen sooner or later, and then you'll get your chance to race for the win. But a lot of things happen. I just kept in it. Well, just like Monday night, I got in a wreck and was 27th, 28th, fixed up the car and got back up to 14th with all the carnage. So you just can't give up on these super speedways.
No, and you didn't, and it paid off with a trip to victory lane tonight. I know you've probably got plenty of people to thank, Mike. Big night. Who makes it happen for you in the 24 camp?
Well, still looking for that team, still looking for some backing, but the wife is a big supporter of this, and I also want to give a shout out to my teammate, longtime friend, been sim racing with them since '97. Brian Motisco. He's had some health problems and just got home from the hospital. Hopefully he was watching on TV, and we all want him to get well soon and get back out on the track. And then, RSR for putting this on. You get a race against some of the best on iRacing week after week, and it's just great to be here.
I know, and I know it's going to be a moment that you remember for a while, Mike. Congratulations, my friend. I'm glad I get to say it. You're an RSR winner.
That's awesome. Thanks, you guys.
That's it from Gatorade Victory Lane. Cisco, let's take a look at the final results here, shall we? Because you talk about Mike Kelly, Brian Harvey, Ross Cato, that podium we just talked to. Marinac was just behind, and where did Dwayne Vincent come from in that final draft? He was 4 wide to finish 5th with Alex Bergeron there in the tail end. You got Tim Matthews, Chad Cole, Scott Bolster. Those were the 9 trucks on the lead lap, and Anthony DeBarro, Cisco. We talked about him being a lap down in that lead draft. It paid off at the tail end. He was able to avoid everybody, and even despite being a lap down, finished 10th.
Yeah, great run for him. Great recovery for him. Christopher Gore in the 5 truck, he's going to finish 11th. Chad Coleman had some trouble there. He's going to finish 12th. 13th to Steve Ritter. Justin Michael will finish 14th. Steve Herring will finish 15th. Matt Lacrosse, he finishes 16th. He's the first truck 2 laps down, then 5 laps down. Bobby Wetzel finishes 17th. 18th is going to go to CJ LeVere, 7 laps down. 19th going to go to Keith Brooks, and Scott Simley is going to finish 20th, 11 laps down. Everyone from here on is about double digits in terms of laps down.
Yeah, I think everybody from 21st on back out of the race at the checkered flag. John Ellers, 21st, 22nd to TJ Kelly, 23rd, Daniel Eberhardt, 24th, Mike Montesi, 25th, Mark Bratcher, 26th, Ken Baum, 27th, J.R. Johnson. All those guys collected in the second and final caution of the night coming at lap 61. Then you got J.R. Johnson, 27th, Travis Burks, 28th, Austin Yarborough. That first caution of the night, he led so much of the early stages of this race. Comes up 29th, 24 down, and Sean Haverly, the first car out of the race and the final car in the rundown, finishes off a 30-car field, or 30-truck field, rather, here tonight from the Talladega Super Speedway. And I've processed this, Ben, enough to come up with one coherent thought. What was that?
That was a signature Talladega Super Speedway race is what that was. An unbelievable finish. Unbelievable racing throughout the race. Of course, can't go to a restrictor plate without a couple big ones. We've had those. And then, of course, the photo finish to settle this thing off. Mike Kelly, by the way, I don't think we mentioned it yet, but he started way back in 26. Didn't even qualify tonight.
Took a provisional.
That shows you just how, took a provisional. That just shows you how big of a factor the draft is at a place like Talladega and Daytona.
Yeah, 3 of the top 9 were provisional starters tonight. That's how much these guys were able to move through the field, Cisco. And, you talk about plate races. It's fun when they're exciting. It's twice as fun when you get a first-time winner. Tonight we had both.
Yeah, absolutely. And we only got to, see the last half of that race there, the last 20 or so laps. But that was one heck of a 20 laps, and probably that first half of the broadcast, like we were discussing, maybe it was tough for you. You were basically on your own, a lone man. But it's just Tyler. I gotta ask you, man. We're looking at this. We've been we're both drivers over at Icebreaker, and we've been kind of having a little bit of rough spots over there. Don't you wish we were kind of seeing this kind of racing out there?
For me, I think this was far too intense for the last 20 laps for me to really want to be a part of, but I gotta give hats off to these guys. Just being able to get through all of this drama. You have all this strategy in the first half of the race with green flag pit stops, trying to figure out who your partner's going to be when you come down pit road, keeping up with the main pack, then trying to get through all the big wrecks and not even knowing who's going to win until the last 100 yards of the race. For me, personally, I'll take a mile and a half where I know I can run safely instead of running out here at Talladega. That finish was intense, great to watch. Me personally, I don't like driving in that.
I know Mike Kelly does, because he ends up with the trophy tonight, and a wild finish comes up with gonna definitely be some wild highlights here in the coming days on LSRTV, and definitely glad for those of you who tuned in for the finish tonight and tuned in throughout the race broadcast this evening with us, both on iRacing Live and LSR. So for the crew that flew in from Atlanta to make it happen here tonight, Cisco Scaramuza, Tyler Herr, Ben Kilcrease, of course, our executive producer, Laura Lawson, John Abbott, and all the folks at RSR, we do want to thank them. Cisco, real quickly, a final thought from you.
Well, if you guys have enjoyed plate racing, we're not done yet. Tomorrow, Domino's TYJ, that's going to be at Daytona. Meanwhile, on the other side will be Upstate Racing League. And then on Friday, we go right back to the plate tracks with the iSuper Speedway Series. So, yeah, we're not done yet with plate track week. And with Daytona fast approaching, I think we'll be back at these places even after this week.
It's going to be a whole lot of fun. I named the people that make it happen, and definitely want to give a shout out to the fine folk at iRacing too, who help give us a place to call the race. And for all the fine folks that we mentioned, our sponsors at Hippie's Paint Shop, and anybody else watching along tonight, we'll see you next time. And I'm Jacob Seelman, reminding you to keep it off the wall until we meet again, and we'll see you next time on the web. Have a safe racing evening, folks. Good night from Talladega.